So, Roger, today marks the 300th day of what was supposed to be a three-day operation by Russia. As this calendar year draws to a close, I want to update the House on the illegal, unprovoked invasion of Ukraine by Russia and the brave defence of the Ukrainian people. Since it began its offensive on the 24th of February, Russia has failed to achieve its strategic objectives. Not one single operational commander then in place on the 24th of February is in charge now. Russia has lost significant numbers of generals and commanding officers. Rumours of General Gerasimov's dismissal persist as Putin deflects responsibility for continued military failure in Ukraine. High fatality rates and increasing public dissatisfaction with mobilisation is growing. More than 100,000 Russians are dead, injured or have deserted, and Russian capability has been severely hampered by the destruction of more than 4,500 armoured and protected vehicles, as well as more than 140 helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft, and hundreds of other artillery pieces. Almost a year on, and the conflict now resembles the attritional battles of World War I. The Russian army is largely fixed in place, not just by Ukrainian firepower, but by its own creaking logistics system and barely trained troops. Soldiers occupy networks of waterlogged trenches, and a vast front line stretches for 1,200 kilometres, the distance from London to Vienna. Despite intense fighting in Donetsk, Luhansk and Zaporozhye regions, Russia can barely generate a fighting force capable of retaking lost areas, let alone make significant operational advances. Russian public opinion is starting to turn. Data reportedly collected by Russia's Federal Protective Service indicated that 55% of Russians now favour peace talks with Ukraine, with only 25% claiming to support continuing the war. In April of this year, that latter figure was around 80%. Alongside Russia's litany of failure is an expanding rap sheet of reported war crimes. According to the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, since the 24th of February, some 6,000 Ukrainian civilians have been killed and nearly 10,000 have been injured. Every day, more allegations emerge of rape, arbitrary detentions, torture, ill treatment, deaths in custody, and summary executions. Unrecorded group burial sites have been discovered in former occupied areas such as Mariupol, Bucha, and Izium. Industrial facilities such as Sevastopol Steelworks and the Azot chemical plant have been targeted, risking the release of toxic industrial chemicals. And the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the largest in Europe, has been indiscriminately shelled. At the start of this invasion, Russia planned kill lists of civic leaders, show trials, sham referenda, but unfortunately for them, the international community has not been fooled by such tricks. Numerous open-source reports show this morally bankrupt activity is not the work of rogue units or of corrupt individuals, it is systemic. That's why, as the mercury drops further in temperature in Ukraine, the UK is doing what we can to help Ukrainians endure their harsh winter. The UK has so far donated 900 generators to Ukraine and sent approximately 15,000 sets of extreme cold weather kits to the Ukrainian armed forces, including cold weather clothing, heavy-duty sleeping bags and insulated tents. We anticipate 10,000 further cold weather kits will be delivered by Christmas. Across the international community, around 1.23 million winter kit items have been deployed to Ukraine. Although our populations continue to struggle with the cost of living crisis, the global community must hold its course on Ukraine. The price of Putin's success is one none of us can afford. We can assure they maintain their commitment to the Black Sea Initiative, which has so far transported 14.3 million tonnes of grain from more than 500 outgoing voyages. We must stop their reckless shelling of nuclear facilities, and we must hold their enablers to account. Iran has become one of Russia's top military backers. In return for having supplied more than 300 kamikaze drones, Russia now intends to provide Iran with advanced military components, undermining both Middle East and international security. And we must expose that deal. In fact, I have just now, Sir Roger. Make no mistake, Mr. Speaker, the UK's assistance to Ukraine will remain unwavering, and I'm grateful to the Prime Minister for his continuing support.